would like to share with your best self family?
Yes, I'm running for President of the United States.
Can you say that again?
Yes. We've made disease very, very profitable. We just wait till you get really sick, and then we'll all go in and see how much money we could all make, as opposed to having the incentives be, how do we keep people healthy? Half of the country has either diabetes or pre-diabetes. If this trend continues, we will sink the healthcare system. So my point is, like, why are we spending all this time talking about Medicare for all, single payer, Obamacare? The real discussion is, how do we make sure half the country doesn't have diabetes or pre-diabetes? How do we make sure millions of people don't have high blood pressure and heart disease? These things are going to collapse the system.
You said, one of the reasons it's so hard to change policy is the power of lobbyists in D.C. on behalf of these corporate interests.
Whether you look at food, you look at the pharmaceutical industry, you look at the energy sector, go right down the line,
right.
Undue influence. Mm-hmm. The power structure has been so tilted towards the 1% of the people who have all the money that it's now poisoned the political process.
How are we going to cut that lane between Wall Street and DC?
You have to have publicly financed elections. I think we should do what they do in Europe. I think you shrink the election season to about 2 months. This is the time we're going to decide our leaders. Then we elect them. Let them fill their term and do their job.
Do their job.
Right.
What a concept.
Instead of spending all this time
right.
trying to raise money. The problem today is the incumbents, people that are sitting in office now, don't want that because the incumbents have the advantage to go out and raise money because they hold the power. So they certainly don't want to mess that system up.
In 2015, you changed your position on abortion.
I started over the course of my career softening my position because I kept meeting women who had to deal with these very difficult and complicated circumstances. And I learned from them and changed my view because the more stories I heard, the more I thought a bunch of dudes in Washington, D.C. mm-hmm. should not be in a room with a woman, her husband, and their doctor.
How is it that you can bridge this gap where you will represent the whole as opposed to a slice of the pie?
I see that they all have a very, very important role. We talked a little bit about, going to the moon. We had the Sputnik Moment, right, where the Russians were ahead of us in the space race. And so we had the Sputnik Moment. We've got to beat the Russians to the moon. We need about 7 Sputnik moments, all at the same time, on climate, on healthcare, on wages, on job security, on energy. We've got all of these challenges that we have to address all at the same time. We don't have the luxury to put them in a list. Say, we'll do this one today and work on this one for a year, and then we'll go to no, all now. And that can only happen if we come together.
Right.
There's no way we're going to be able to meet these challenges. They're too big.
I thought maybe, in a couple of years we could redo this in the Oval Office.
That's a done deal. That's an absolute done deal. That would be great.